Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
So today I had to take 2 hours. No, sir.
Not actually 1.5 hour, but just in case I have just
Okay,
made
sir. No problem
it as
because
a two and
I will cover some forward kinematics and then same problems I will explain inverse kinematics.
okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay.
The session will not end, so that's what I wanted to make sure. But actually, the next session will start at 12 o'clock. So,
Oh,
so there will be. I thought of having
okay.
some half an hour
Gap.
gap.
Oh, okay, sir. 10 minutes or 15 minutes I'll complete and
Okay,
before that.
okay, ma'am. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
no
12
problem.
o'clock another session is there, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So you are going to take.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So
Okay.
you have done very well, sir, yesterday. That
You were
I
there.
textbook with
Oh,
you have explained the entire chapter. Means
uh,
time within the given time you have completed.
somehow I
I
managed. Yeah.
yes, sir. I thought I thought to complete, but I one
I
problem I
mean,
completed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what I thought because in inverse mechanism, we will have not much content compared to the forward
Yes,
mechanism.
sir.
So
That
once the
forward. Yes, sir. From the forward
yeah.
only I need to like
Hmm. Okay, ma'am. We'll start once
yes,
we
let
get enough number. Yeah, let them come. Ma'am, you can share the screen or upload the your presentation, and then you can start whenever it's convenient for you.
Good morning to all. Today I am going to discuss about the inverse kinematics. So in last class we have seen direct kinematics. So what is the difference in direct kinematics and inverse kinematics? So in direct kinematics we are going to give the joint variables like joint parameters and link parameters. We are going to evaluate the tool configuration, that is position of the tool. Suppose there is a so there is a planar mechanism. So in direct kinematics we are going to give the uh, joint parameters and link parameters, and we are going to find the position of the end effector with respect to the base frame. Whereas in inverse kinematics, we are going to give the tool position as input and link parameters, and we are going to estimate the joint angles. Okay, so we are going to estimate the joint angles. So what are the joint angles? So what is the notation we have used for a joint angle? So joint angle is like we have used theta. Okay, theta is the joint angle. So is inverse kinematics of manipulators. So if you see, so it is nothing but problem of finding the required joint angles to place the tool frame. So relative to the base frame. Okay. So here in direct kinematics, so we have found the tool configuration from the link parameters and joint angles. Okay, so orientation of the tool we have defined in direct kinematics. So whereas inverse kinematics, we are going to use that tool configuration like a tool position which we evaluated in the direct kinematics. So from that we are going to estimate the joint angles. So joint angles to place the tool frame. Okay. So to deal with inverse kinematics, first we need to solve the direct kinematics. Okay. So then we will arrive some uh, equations for uh, tool position. So like position vector of the end effector, position and orientation of the tool relative to the base frame. Okay, so this I'll explain in later next slides. So this position vector, so when you see the 6-axis robot, okay, so I have done the like first step I taken the 6-axis robot, So we'll see. This is the 6-axis robot. So when say 6-axis robot, first step also to get the tool configuration space. Tool configuration space. First, I need to assign the joint axis, and then I need to assign the frames at each joint, and then next step is, so first step, so I'm going to revise that, and I'll solve this problem for using forward kinematics. So why I am going to do that means, so to deal with the inverse kinematics, first we need to solve using direct kinematics approach. So in direct kinematics approach, so I have a mechanism. I have a like a 6-axis robot. So I need to find out the tool space or tool uh, configuration, like desired position and orientation of the tool relative to the station frame or base frame. So in that case, first I will assign the axis. Okay, so that is the first step which we have seen in the previous class, previous session. And next step is uh, next step is like assigning the frame. Okay, first step is, so at each joint we are going to assign the frame. So what is the third step? So third step is I'm going to find the DH parameters. So what are the DH parameters? There are four DH parameters. So what are those? Theta. Theta is the one DH parameter. So theta, have you remembered? So what is the theta? Theta is the angle between the z axis or angle between the x axis. So I will give you pole. Theta is the variable. So I said one of the DH parameter. So it is the angle between the, so that I am doing two options. It is the angle between the zi minus 1 and zi about xi. So that is option A. So another option is angle between the xi minus 1 and xi. So you can pole which is the correct. So if you remember, so this is about x-axis, okay, about x-axis. This is about z-axis. So can you? I am giving two options. Option A is theta is the angle between the zi minus 1 and zi about x-axis. Option B is the angle between xi minus 1 and xi about zi axis. So you can please poll this, which is the correct. So I have given theta is the first variable, the first DH parameter, in which it is the angle between the zi minus 1 and zi, or it is angle between the xi minus 1 and xi about z axis. Here you can take like xi and xi plus 1. This is I and xi plus 1. Xi and xi plus 1. So we have seen four parameters. One is alpha I minus 1, A I minus 1, and DI. Okay, so these are the four parameters. So the one given A. So A is wrong. So theta I is the angle between xi and xi plus 1 about zi axis. Angle between xi and xi I plus 1 about z axis. Okay, so option B is the correct. Whereas alpha I minus 1 is the angle between zi minus 1 and zi about x axis. So is it clear? So here DH DH parameter Hartenberg has made this these parameters for systematic analysis of kinematic analysis of the robot mechanism. So here, so the answer is D actually. So alpha I minus 1 is the angle between the Zi minus 1 and Zi about x-axis. Whereas AI minus 1 is the angle between xi and xi plus 1 about z-axis. DI is the, sorry, AI is the, here, sorry, alpha is Zi minus 1 and AI minus 1 is the distance between which axis in this Zi minus 1 Zi or xi and xi plus 1? Can anybody? Alpha I minus 1, sorry, AI minus 1 is the distance, I minus 1 is the distance between Z I minus 1, okay? So Z I minus 1 and Zi along the common normal. So that is along x axis, along x side. Di is the distance, okay, distance measured like distance between xi and xi plus 1, okay, xi plus 1. So by using all these four parameters, we will find the transformation matrices, and then we will find the homogeneous transformation matrix like so here there are 6-axis robot, so it is 6-axis robot. So first transformation matrix, second we'll write it and we'll find the final transformation matrix. So I will quickly, within 5 minutes, I will see how to find the DH parameters of the 6-axis robot. So we'll see quickly. I'll share my screen. So this is the 6-axis robot. So here they have not attached this end effector. Okay, so in this figure. So how many joints? So how many joints in this mechanism? So how many joints basically? So here it is 6 joints. So I can assume it as 6 joint, 1 joint, 1, 2. Okay. So like 2, 1, 3. So this is 0 frame, 0 joint, 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is 1 revolute joint. Okay. So you can see 4, and this is like a spherical joint, 5, and end effector joint 6. So this is 4, 5, 6 comprises a wrist joint. So it is like a wrist joint. So that means the axis, joint axis will intersect. Okay. So 4, 5, 6. So these are the 6-axis robot. So here itself end effector. So this is the 6th joint, and end effector also will lie in the same point. So this is 6-axis. So first step I already mentioned in kinematic analysis, forward kinematic analysis, I need to define, first step I need to define the axis. So first I define the joints, and then I need to locate the axis. So joint, okay. So here can see, so this is the first joint. Okay, so here, so I can consider like a base. So Z0 axis and Z1. So Z1 are lying in the same line. Whereas, okay, so here, so this Z axis I have drawn parallel to this line. Okay, so Z axis. So you can forget about Y axis. So here in DH parameters, we are focusing on x-axis and z-axis. So z-axis represents the joint axis. So we have located, we have assigned a Z1 axis, and then at the same joint we have another. So this represents actually joint one axis, Z1 axis and x1 axis. Next, here, if you locate at the same point, we have Z2 joint axis, Z2 axis. So Z2 axis will uh, pass through this line. So actually here, so I can locate like this is joint 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is at this point I have joint 2 axis is okay, so that means you need to locate, you need to assign the axis, you need to imagine that that joint is revolving or rotating, okay, rotating about this axis. So I can assume this link is rotating about the axis. So the z axis is this is the z2 axis. So I have drawn this as a position of Z2 axis, and perpendicular to it again I can draw X2 axis. Okay. So instead of to avoid the confusion, we have taken here Z2 and X2 axis. Next, third joint. So this is the first, second joint. Second joint is between the two links. Okay. These two links. And third joint is first joint, second joint, third joint. So third joint, you can think like a, so this link will revolve or rotate about this axis. Okay, so you should imagine that that rotation of the link is okay. So with respect to this uh, axis, so this link how it can revolve, so it can revolve with the respect to this axis. So that is z3 axis, and then uh, x3, so you can draw the normal so to it, and like a right hand rule, x3 axis, and then you can locate the z4 axis. So z4 axis and z5 and z6. So this is like a wrist joint. So wrist joint. So here three axis. So like a z4 axis as well as z6 axis, and so this is the fourth joint, and here fifth joint. So fifth joint you can consider like so this joint, so there is three links here, fourth link, okay, fourth link, fifth link, and end effector, so end position. So here this I can assume that this fifth joint will revolve or rotate about this axis, so that is z5 axis. Is it clear? So z5 axis, so first step I am assigning all the axes. So z5 axis, so where is x5? So x5 axis, so you can draw parallel to x3. So that means x4 and x5 and x6 same direction. So that is okay. Am I audible? So x4, x5 and x6 are the same axis. Now let us as like find the DH parameters. So once we have located the axes, we'll write the DH parameter. So since like Z0 axis, so Z0 and X0. So like X0, Z1, X1 lying same line. So I can take here also. So now can you tell me what is the first alpha I minus 1? So this is like this portion represents to because if you see the distance between x1 and x3, so we can't see clearly from this view. So that's why if you draw the top view like roughly, okay, this joint position of this joint, then you can locate this distance a3 is nothing but distance between the uh, like a Z4 axis and Z3 axis. Okay, so now we'll see the DH parameters quickly. So what is the first link? First link is, sorry, first axis. First axis is like a Z axis. Okay, joint axis, Z axis. So what is alpha I minus 1? So you should remember alpha I minus 1 is alpha ns minus 1 is angle between the Zi minus 1 and Zi. So you should remember that about xi. Okay, so once if you solve number of problems, it is very easy to find the dh parameters. So what is ai minus 1? It is angle. Similarly, this distance. Okay, so distance uh, between zi minus 1, zi minus 1 and zi. Okay, so next, what is di? Di is the distance between. Okay, so di means distance between xi and xi plus 1. So you can see why we have taken xi plus 1. So this is, since here it is ai minus 1, here it is di. So it is xi and xi plus 1 along z axis, whereas this is along xi axis. Okay. So similarly, theta is the angle between xi and xi plus 1 about z axis. So now we'll see alpha I minus 1. Alpha I minus 1 is the first joint axis, z naught and zi. Z naught and zi are intersecting. So alpha I minus 1 is 0. Distance also it is intersecting. So that distance also 0. Okay. So here di also distance between the xi and xi minus. So I can take this entire joint axis as here. So along this direction we have x naught, xi and x2. Three axes. Okay, three axis lies. So di is 0 and theta is generally angle. This joint with respect to joint, one can rotate about the axis. Okay, so we have that angle of rotation uh, between xi and x. So suppose let us take I have x naught and xi also. So if you imagine x1, if you imagine x naught is stationary and the link, the joint can turn, and that means x1 can turn with respect to x naught through an angle theta. Okay, so this is direction is like a right hand screw. So that angle I am assuming it as theta 1. So suppose in forward kinematic problems, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 4, theta 5, theta 6 are given. So these all dimensions are given. We are going to find the position vector. So in position vector, after finding the transformation matrix, we'll get the rotation matrix and position vector. Okay, 0 1. So this position vector gives the end effector position. So we'll see how we'll get that. So first in for theta 1 is known in forward kinematics. Okay, so next step, next parameter, I am going to find alpha I minus 1 with respect to joint axis 2. So joint axis 2, this is the joint, it is rotating, revolving about this axis Z2. So what is the angle between Z1 and Z2? So if you rotate in clockwise direction Z1, you'll get 90 degree, you'll get Z2. So that means clockwise, already I mentioned clockwise rotation is taken as negative, so minus 90. Is it clear? So similarly, ai minus 1. Ai minus 1 means you should remember immediately it is the distance between zi minus 1 and zi. So that means a2 minus 1, that is a1. A1 is the distance between z z1. Okay, so z1 and z2. So distance between z1 and z2. So what is the distance? It is 0. Okay, so because both or intersecting at the same origin O. So I can write it as 0. Next, again, similarly, this joint with respect to the axis, okay, z2 axis, suppose if x1 is stationary, okay, x1, x2 can revolve or rotate with respect to x1 through an angle theta 2. So through an angle theta 2, so that theta 2 is I have written. So similarly, you can write for other parameters. So let us see three axis 3. So where is the axis 3? Axis 3 at this position Z3. Okay, Z3. So this direction I have assumed positive. Okay, so Z3, and then so in this case, so this is the link, this is another link. So like link 2, link 3. So this link can revolve. Okay, so revolve in with respect to this axis. So what is the alpha I minus 1? Alpha I minus 1 is angle between Z3 and Z2. Z2 about which axis? About x3. Okay, so where is the x3 axis? So this is the x3 axis. So angle between Z3 and Z2. Can you tell me, anyone? So angle between Z2 and Z3. Okay, both are parallel, so it is 0. Okay, so similarly, distance. Now, distance, I can write it as there is a distance. Both are parallel and separated. Distance is A2. Next, similarly, distance between xi, that is the x3 and x2. X3 and x2. So that distance is d3. So d3 and theta. Theta 3 is so like rotation of this joint with respect to the joint axis. So like that you can fill other three parameters, like you can take Z4 axis is along this direction. So Z4 and Z3 are like 90 degree. 90 degrees when I rotate clockwise direction, Z3 to Z4. So clockwise is taken as negative. So it is minus 90. Is it clear? Distance between the Z Z3 and Z4. So can you tell me this distance is A3? Okay, so here there is some so that distance you can't see in this view, but you can see in this view the distance between the Z4 and Z3 is, that is A3. Similarly, distance between x3 and x4 is d4 along z4 axis. So you should remember d theta means x xi and xi plus 1 along zi axis. Alpha and a means zi minus 1 and zi along x axis. So once you know all these parameters, you can write the, now one by one you need to write the transformation matrix. Suppose for first one, t I can give notation as t01. Okay, base frame and first joint axis. So here if you observe, there is no translation, only rotation. So what is the rotation? Joint angle. Joint angle is the rotation of the links with respect to x-axis. Okay, correct? No. So rotation of x-axis about which axis? About z-axis. About z-axis. So that means you need to write the transformation matrix along z. So you know transformation matrix about z-axis is, have you remembered, cos theta 1 minus sin theta 1? Okay, so I haven't copied that. Yes, so you can see that matrices. Okay, so this is the transformation with respect to z axis. Okay, so z axis is only the rotation is about z axis. So you know the transformation matrix. Next step. So next axis is minus 90. So that is rotation of zi minus 1 and zi with respect to xi axis, about x axis. About x axis means, have you remembered the rotation matrix? About x axis. About x axis means we have 1 0 0 and 0 cos theta minus sin theta 0. Okay, so 0 sin theta cos theta 0 and 0 0 0 1. So in this, if I substitute cos of minus 90, I'll get it as 0, cos of minus sin 90 as plus 1 minus 1, okay, 0. So if I multiply, but only rotation is not there. We have only rotation about x-axis transformation. We need to multiply with rotation about z-axis. Okay. Correct. Rotation about z-axis into rotation about x-axis. So x-axis we know this angle alpha. Alpha angle is we know that is minus 90. But we don't know if in kinematics forward kinematics we know that theta 2 also. If they given, you can find the end effector position. So if I multiply these two matrices, so like Z matrix is same thing. Okay, so you can check it, this matrix and uh, this matrix. So that is that in the second case, it is rotating with respect to x-axis into it is rotating with respect to y-axis. Sorry, z-axis. So that z-axis is like theta 2. So if I multiply this, I'll get this expression. So you can check it. I'll get this expression for the joint axis T transformation matrix. Next, similarly like T23. T23 is, so you need to see the third axis. Third axis is, we don't have rotation with respect to x-axis, but distance. So you need to apply the translation matrix uh, with respect to x-axis and translation matrix with respect to z-axis and rotation about z-axis. So that means you need to multiply 3. So can anyone tell the translation matrix? So this is rotation matrix about z-axis. Angle is theta 3. Okay. So and then translation matrix about x-axis and about z-axis. So translation matrix means no need to worry, only the last column will change. So that is about x-axis means you can change the A to D3. Okay, so I'll get this transformation matrix. Similarly, fourth axis. Fourth axis, I have rotation about x-axis, rotation about z-axis, and translation about x-axis, translation about z-axis. So if I multiply these two, I have rotation about x-axis. Okay, rotation about x-axis and rotation about z-axis. But angles will change. So here alpha is how much? Alpha is minus 90. Okay, so minus 90 and theta 2 is theta 4. So if you change that and multiply, you will get this expression. Similarly, you can, so this main step thing is you need to assign the coordinate axis and finding the DH parameters is the thing. Remaining, it is very simple for estimating the position vector. So next, fifth step, if you substitute these rotation only, we have in the fifth with respect to fifth axis, we have rotation about x-axis and rotation about z-axis. Similarly, with respect to sixth axis, we have rotation about x-axis, rotation about z-axis. Okay, so like that, if I multiply this rotation about x and rotation about z, I'll get other two matrices. So I need to find out the total transformation matrix. That is, since it is six-axis robot, like T06. So how to find out? I need to multiply all these transformation matrix. So at a time you can't multiply. So you can take like a step by step T01 and T21. So you will get it as T02. So like that, so you can find out. So T02. So into T32. So like that, one by one you can multiply. Then you will get the final matrix. Final matrix as this is the thing. Okay. So here instead of so I'll get in terms of cos theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. Here I have written that this is cos theta 1, theta 2. Instead of for simplification, I used theta 2 as C2. Cos theta 3 means C3. Sin theta 4 means S4. So you should remember that notation, and then you can understand this equation. So I'll get this first term as C1 into C23. What is C23? So you should remember C23 is nothing but C23 is cos of theta 2 plus theta 3. Okay. So what is cos of theta 2 plus cos theta 3? Cos theta 2 cos theta 3 minus sin theta 2 sin theta 3. Okay. So is it clear? So we'll go quickly to the next step. So like that, I can also write C1, C2 minus S1, S2. Sorry, C2, C3 minus S2, S3. So you should remember this notation. One more thing, if I have written C1, 2, 3 means it is nothing but cos of theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3. Okay. So that is the representation you should remember. Okay. So after simplifying, if I multiply all these 6 matrices and if I simplify and substitute instead of C1 into this term as R11, R1. So in this matrix, are you able to see? In this matrix, the R11, these terms represent 6 terms represents the rotation, 9 terms. 9 terms represents the rotation matrix. And these 3 represents the position vectors. So this is the, if I multiply 6 matrices, Px, Py, Pz. So if once I know theta values, A values, D values, I can substitute and I can find the position vectors in case of forward kinematic problem. Okay. So is it clear what is forward kinematic problem? So for any number of links, okay, any number of joints, so you can apply this procedure and you can find out the position vector Px. So Px, Py, Pz means that last column of the homogeneous transformation matrix. Okay, so that gives the position vector of the end effector. So here it is 6-axis robot, so you can do for other like which I have left for planar, non-planar robots. So you can try as assignments I'll upload, so you can try it. So now we'll come to the inverse kinematics problem. Why I have explained all this forward kinematic problem. So inverse kinematic problem will solve only using the forward kinematic problem. Okay, so inverse, sorry. So inverse kinematic problem, I already defined that. So what is your doubt? The forward inverse kinematics is valid only for inertial frame. So here we are not considering the motion. Okay, so it is like a rigid frame.
So it's not necessary that it has to be with respect to inertia frame. So So basically for EAM, it's
Yes,
fixed
basic.
basis.
Yes.
It's not necessary that fixed base has to be an inertial frame. Okay, so if the robo is moving or something like that, then it will not be an inertial frame. So it's not necessary, basically.
Yes. Okay, so we'll see this inverse kinematics. So inverse kinematics, we are going to use the direct kinematics. So whatever we have derived in direct kinematics problem, so that we are going to use like position vector of the end effector. Okay. So this position vector. So if you see this matrix, so as I said, in these 9 parameters, 3 parameters are independent. So what is inverse kinematics? Inverse kinematics is we are going to find the joint angles to place the tool frame with respect to the base frame. So here uh, to to solve the inverse kinematics problem, inverse kinematic problem in we are going to find like in this is the case of 6-axis robot I said. So 6-axis robot, what we need to find, we need to find the 6 joint angles, theta 4, theta 5 and theta 6. Okay, so like that n axis robot means we need to find up to theta. So it is like a difficult situation. So to find all these parameters, kinematic equations of manipulator are non-linear. So all these equations are non-linear. Okay, so in this case, we have 12 equations. 12 equations. Already we have seen this is the thing when we derive. These are the 9 plus 3, 12 equations. So in 12 equations, we have 6 unknowns. So what are the 6 unknowns? Theta 1 to theta 6. But in these 9 equations are represents the rotation matrix portion of homogeneous matrix, and 3 are in these 9, 3 are the equations are the independent equation, whereas other position vector 3 equations are represents the independent, these also independent equation. So that means we have 6 equations and 6 unknowns. So that is like a non-linear and okay, so like non-linear equations which can be quite difficult to solve. So suppose we have in these parameters, we have like many zeros, alpha I minus 1, many zeros, alpha y minus 1 is generally changing from 0 to 90 degree, 0 to 90 degree. Okay, plus or minus 90 degree. So in that case, suppose many link lengths are 0. So like a link offsets, not link lengths, link offsets and were 0. So in that some situations is like a I minus 1 and d I minus 1 are 0. In that situation we can find, but it is like complex, more complex than the okay. So it is complex to solve those equations. So suppose if these all are 0, so it is sometimes maybe quite possible, but we'll get it is non-linear set of equations. So there is existence of multiple solutions. Okay, existence of multiple. There is no solution exists, but there is some necessary conditions. Okay, so there is some necessary conditions we need to see. Look at that. So is it clear? So we have 6 independent equations and 6 unknowns. So these are non-linear equation. Okay, so how we can consider there is a the solution exists. So first one is we will consider like there is a, so suppose if you take two plan to link manipulator. So this is the base. So with respect to base, the end effector, position of the end effector. So this is the first position, second position. So so like third position. Okay. So it can move in this workspace. So the position of the end effector is there in the particular workspace. So workspace is nothing but volume of space that the end effector of the manipulator can reach. So for solution to exit, the we need to set specified goal point must lie within the workspace. So this is the end effector position or goal point. So that should lie in this workspace. So if there are two other names are given, there is like a workspace. Workspace are like dexterous workspace and reachable workspace. So dexterous workspace means volume of space that the robot end effector can reach with all orientations. So it can reach with all orientations. That is that workspace. So like that workspace of the end effector is called the dexterous workspace. So whereas in reachable workspace, the volume of space of that robot can reach at least one orientation. Okay. So it can move only one orientation. So that is called the reachable workspace. So Dexter's workspace is a subset of reachable workspace. Okay. So like many all orientation, the end effector position or goal point will be within this workspace. So that the existence when what we are saying, we are looking at the solution of the inverse kinematic problem exists or not. So we already mentioned it represents the non-linear distortion in my voice. Everyone, others also facing same problem.
For me, it's clear, ma'am.
Hmm.
Not sure.
Okay.
And maybe at this moment we can answer some of the questions from.
Yes.
Yeah, so Dr. Manish has asked that equations which you have showed, is it valid only for 6 degree of freedom? Yeah.
Yes. So it
So
is
yeah, this
x-axis is
equation.
6 degrees of freedom.
Okay, okay. And
So
one more question from
is that
Ranjan Rai.
uh, can we say that T and N link has a joint angle?
No, say
N
that
degree of,
yeah.
can we say that okay, the nth link has n
Uh,
joint angle, n degree of freedom having n connectivity.
okay. Actually, it is true for a serial manipulator, but we can't say the same for parallel manipulator. If it's a serial manipulator, yes,
N link
n
has
link and n
n
connectivity
joint
and
angle.
n
Yes,
degree of
yes.
freedom. Yes,
N degrees of freedom. Yes.
yes.
Is it clear?
And
Any other doubt?
so somebody asked to
Dexter.
repeat Dexter's workspace. Yes.
Okay. So in inverse kinematics problem, we have seen that there is a nonlinear equation. So e- nonlinear transcendental equations are exist. So it is quite difficult to solve for finding the joint angles. So we are assuming that there is some solution exists. So that to find that solution is multiple solutions. So we may get multiple solutions. So that okay. So that solutions are we are assuming that there exists a solution. That solution is lying like so Either it may be, it depends on the manipulator's workspace. So that manipulator's workspace is nothing but, so it is the volume of space that end effector, position of the end effector of the manipulator can reach. So in reachable workspace is like no, dexterous workspace is a subset of reachable workspace. Reachable
So it's other way
workspace,
around. Yeah.
yes. Okay. So reachable workspace, I have the robot can reach at least one orientation. So these are the two workspaces. So suppose if you take the two link manipulator, okay, so with link lengths L1 and L2, if suppose L1 is equal to L2, we can consider the reachable workspace. So it's like a disk, the disk of radius 2 L1. So since L1 is equal to L2. So here the dexterous workspace is like a single point. So that is the origin. Okay. So but suppose if L1 is not equal to L2, then there won't be dexterous workspace. Then in that case the reachable workspace will be like a same like ring shape, but the radius may is like L1 plus L2. So that means here only reachable workspace. That means on the boundaries of the workspace, there is only one possible orientation. So this is one of the consideration for deriving the like there is some solution exists for that those nonlinear equations in such a way that position of the end effector is either it may be reachable workspace or like dexterous workspace. So it can number of possible orientations are attainable. So like so if when a manipulator has less than 6 degrees of freedom, in that case sometimes it cannot attain a goal positions like orientations in free space. Okay. So suppose if L1 and L2 is changing, so in that case sometimes it is less than, so they arrived that so after number of analysis, so if the degrees of freedom is less than 6, okay, like less than 6, cannot attain the general goal points, okay, the three orientation in three space. Okay, so we'll see another thing is another necessary condition is like so we have seen that we have 12 equations and unknowns. Okay. So I already mentioned that we have multiple solutions. So what is your question? Dexterous, reaching all points in all orientations, reaching each point in one orientation.
Yes, that's just a
Yes,
statement, ma'am. Yeah.
yes, yes, it is correct, Murugan. Yes, Dr. Murugan. Okay, so I already said we have multiple solutions. So multiple solutions. So if you take the three-link manipulator, so the final, so like the joint angle. So here in inverse kinematics problem, we are going to find the joint angles. Okay, theta 1, theta 2, and this is the final position vector, position of the tool. Sorry, this is reverse condition. Here you can see the position of the end effector. So we can take this like this is the first solution and dashed lines. So this represents the second solution. how I can identify that this is the correct one or this is the correct one? So like the two possible solutions. So suppose this is the my two three link manipulator. So first position is without, so it is shows the without the obstacle. Second position is means it is like the obstacle. So how I can decide which is the uh, which is the uh, closest solution? So like so if this there is multiple solutions for the joint angles exist. So so that sometimes cause the problem. So here the we have to take the decision which is the closest solution. So that solution that minimizes the amount that each joint is required to move. So based on that, we are going to find the closest solution. Okay. So that solution we are going to find it like some techniques we can use, and we can find that that solution that minimizes the amount that each joint is required to move. So here we can consider in the absence of obstacle the upper like this configuration. This suggests that one input argument to our kinematic inverse procedure. Okay, so that gives the position of the manipulator. So in overall here I can conclude that solution here for in inverse kinematic problem there exists multiple solutions. In multiple solutions the closest so correct or solution, so okay, so reasonable choice of closest solution can be selected in such a way that the solution minimizes the amount that each joint is required to move. Okay, so that is the thing we are going to consider here. Okay, so suppose the so if we have seen the six axis robot. Okay, so in six axis robot, oh, the end effector here you can see the end effector position of the end effector is same in all the cases, but you can observe the joint angles are changing. Is it correct? So all pictures are same, or there is any differences? It is there is some differences are there in the joint angles. So that means so manipulator with six rotational joints, the minimum number of solutions. So first we are going to find the minimum number of solutions. Okay, in which the length like parameter a is 0. Okay, a is 0, and maximum number of solutions in which a term is non-zero. Okay, so that from that we can find out we can say that suppose when a is a1 a3 a5 is like a1 we have a3 a5 is 0. So in that case we have 4 number of solutions. Suppose we have only a3 a5 is 0, in that case we have 8 number of solutions. So if a1 a2 a3 is not at all 0, so like all 6 distance, so there is distance between what is a is the distance between the zi minus 1 and zi. So I have all the terms exist, so like a1 a2 a3 a4 a5 a6. So in that case all ai is not equal to 0, then there is like number of solutions, there are 16 number of solutions exist. Okay, so I can conclude that here in this slide the so the number of solutions, there is multiple solutions exist in inverse kinematic problem. So that depends on the uh, distance. So like okay, a item. So that. So next one is how to find the solution. So I have in inverse kinematic problem I have given that. So it is distance. So, so A is the distance. So it is not volume. Okay. So AI is distance. Consider the same situation closed solution. Is this valid for under acute and redundant system? So we'll see that closed.
Situation. Okay, for same situation, closest
It's
solution.
redundant system. So
Is
it's not.
this valid for? Okay, under actuate, which means the number of degrees of freedom are less and are more. Mm. Okay, what is valid? We couldn't understand the question
Question.
clearly.
Under
Maybe if
actuate.
you could elaborate the question, then you'll be able to answer. Ma'am, you continue, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. So we have. So it's 11. So we'll see what is the method of solution. So I said in inverse kinematic problem, we have there exist multiple solutions. That solution will exist in the workspace. So that uh, workspace. Okay. So the equations are nonlinear equations. So it is. So how to arrive the solution? We will see. So now in this we have two kinds of solutions like closed form solutions, like analytical expressions, and another one is numerical solutions. So we can use. So first step is the necessary conditions for finding or for to do the inverse kinematic problems is tool point is within the workspace. So that we have seen. So for example, I can say 6-axis robot. The tool point is within the workspace. So that is one necessary condition. So here, as I said, when n is greater than 6, have so like a number of orientations. So that we'll see in the next slide. Tool orientation is such that, okay. So here, these are the necessary conditions and the solutions we can arrive by like using the analytical expressions and by using the numerical solutions. So like iterative like numerical uh, methods. So by using numerical methods, we can solve these number of nonlinear equations. But the main drawback is it is time consuming. So we can go for analytical expressions. So by using the analytical expressions, we are going to derive the closed form solutions for the set of nonlinear equations. Okay. Okay. So here for closed form solutions, these are the sufficient conditions like three adjacent joint axes are intersecting. So like which we have seen for wrist axis. So in case of 6-axis robot, so if you see the wrist, so I have shown that wrist three adjacent joint axes are intersecting the three. Okay, so we can, these are the sufficient conditions. Three adjacent joint axes are intersecting or three adjacent joint axes are parallel to one another. So joint axis intersecting, you can see the wrist axis of like 4, 5, 6 of the this 6-axis robot. So these are the 4, 5, 6 joint axes. So these three axes are intersecting. So you can see at the same point all the three axes. So that is the sufficient condition for writing the closed form solution. Okay, so for closed form solution, the sufficient conditions are three adjacent joint axes are intersecting, or three adjacent joint axes are parallel to one another. Okay, so why we have not gone for numerical solutions? It is iterative and time consuming. So that's why we have turned to closed form solutions. Closed form solutions, like it is based on analytic expression. So, or one more thing, it is we can also use like a polynomial. You might have seen in the mathematics solution of a polynomial, by using the polynomial equations. Okay, so like a non-iterative calculations that we are going to use to arrive the solution. So here, instead of numerical solution, the in kinematic inverse kinematics problem can be solved by analytical expressions. So like multiple solutions is kinematically redundant robots. The- So uniqueness of solution is, so this we'll see like some with some example I can explain. Okay. So it is clear that I can say solvable. What is solvability? What is existence of multiple solutions? That multiple solutions can be derived by using closed form. Uh, Closed form solutions are this numerical solutions. So this is some closed form solution is applicable to robots in general. So those are not available. We have to derive for each angle. So unique solutions are rare. So it is rare in case of inverse kinematic problem. So inverse kinematic problem is like a little bit difficult. It involves nonlinear and transcendental equations. So than the forward kinematic problem. So here you can say what is the solution strategy. So here the main one more thing. So like the set of reachable goal frames for a given manipulator is uh, in the reachable workspace. So suppose if the manipulator with n degrees of freedom and n is less than 6, this reachable workspace can be considered as a portion of n degrees of freedom subspace. So in the same manner, in the workspace of single degree of freedom manipulator is a subset of space. Okay. So workspace of a simple manipulator is a subset of its subspace. So that you can remember. So now we'll go to simple problem with the problem I'll explain the algebraic expressions of the inverse kinematic problem. So these are the two tricks. So like one is algebraic approach and geometric approach. So algebraic approach, as I said, by using the polynomials. So polynomial, okay. So solving the polynomials. Another one is like using the arc tangent method. So that we'll see these two, and the graphical method also I'll try to explain. Okay, or you use the trigonometric identities to combine the two equations. So we'll see. So this is arctangent function in the uh, that class you might have seen. So if these are the frames, rotations, x, y, z are fixed angles. Rotations are performed like rx, ry, rz with the respect alpha, sorry, gamma, beta, alpha. So this is the total transformation matrix. Okay, so final transformation matrix. In this case, so as I said in inverse problem, uh, these are the extracting equivalent x, y, z fixed angles from the rotation matrix is the that is the problem statement. We are going to extract the rotate joint angles. Okay, so that solution depends on solving the set of transcendental equations, like nonlinear transcendental equation, with in which this is dealing like a six-axis robot, not for all. So nine equations and three unknowns. Okay, so in that nine equations, six are independent equation. Okay, so this represents the rotation matrix. So rotation matrix. So we can find out that angles by using the formulas arc tangent. So this is called the A tan 2, means it is a arc tangent. So in arc tangent there is like multiple solutions, as I said. Uh, Multiple solutions exist. This angle is like a it's in any of the coordinates. Okay, so any of the four coordinates. So here by taking the square root of sum of the squares of r11 and r21, we can compute the one angle. Okay, so from this matrix, so what we are applying, we are applying simple operations like squaring and adding. Okay, so here by squaring the r11 and r21, and we can compute the cos beta. So this is arc tangent of. So by using this formula, we can find out the joint angles. Okay, same thing we are going to apply for the problems. Okay, so this is the thing. We'll see for what is this type of robot? Can anybody tell? So what is this type of manipulator? Can you tell me, anyone? So you need this derivation. You can share it afterwards. RRR mechanism is three-link planar mechanism. Okay, so three-link planar mechanism or RRR mechanism. So since all three are revolute joints, this three-link planar mechanism. So you know how to write these parameters. So I have taken this is the joint axis, and perpendicular normal to it with respect to the rotation. So you need to, while locating the x-axis, you need to see like right hand rule and locate the axis. First step is, what is the first step? You need to assign the coordinates and assign the axis. Okay, so assign the axis and assign the joints. So like assign the joints and joint axes, and then find out the DH parameters. Okay, so why I am solving all this? First, I need to find out the position vectors. So I am writing the position vector from the DH parameters. Okay, after getting some position vector equations in terms of, okay, some variable like theta 1. So suppose I know the position vector is like 180 centimeter or something with respect to the base frame, or 200 centimeter. So by using these expressions, I can derive some terms. So first step is, in doing inverse kinematic problem also, I am going to do first forward kinematic um, problem. So like first I need to define the joints, and then joint axis. Okay, so joint axis I have defined. Then you can assign what is alpha I minus 1. Alpha I minus 1 is angle between Zi minus 1 and Zi. Okay. So about xi axis. Di is, theta is angle between xi minus 1 and xi and xi plus 1. Okay. So xi plus 1 about Zi axis. Okay. Xi and xi plus 1 about Zi axis. Okay. So, what is alpha I minus 1? Alpha I minus 1 is, in this case, when I take the first axis, okay, first axis, so it is 0, angle between Zi minus 1 and Zi. So, Ai minus 1 is also 0, distance between Zi and Z1 lies along same axis. So, intersecting. Next, di is 0. Okay, so di is 0 and theta I becomes theta 1. Okay, so next is similarly, if you see the second axis, second joint axis. So like joint axis is like this. So alpha I minus 1 is angle between Z1 and Z2. So since both are parallel, I can take it as 0. And distance is L1. L1. Okay. So measured along x1 axis. Measured along x1 axis. So this is x2 axis, x3 axis. So similarly, you can see di. Di is the distance between x1 and x2. Okay. So measured along z axis. So that distance is 0. So you can write that. And next step is, you can write the transformation matrix. So what is the first position? First axis only we have rotation about z axis. Second step, second transformation is rotation about z axis and translate. What is this? Yes, ai minus 1. So translation about x axis. Okay, so that two conditions, that two transformations, if you multiply, you'll get this expression. And similarly, translation about x-axis and okay, rotation about z-axis. So then to get the homogeneous transformation matrix, multiply all these three matrices, you'll get this expression. Here I have simplified C1, C2, C3. So like the terms, already cos theta 1, cos theta 2, etc. So C1 to 3 means here it represents cos of theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3. Whereas sin 1 to 3 is sin of theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3. So this I have simplified it as like theta 1 plus theta 2 theta 3 as some notation like pi. And I have written this expression as cos pi minus sin pi. Sin pi cos pi, it can be written like this. So here, which column represents the position vector? So I will I will write first column represents the, so this is option A, and option B is second column represents the, okay, second column represents the position vector. And option C is fourth column represents the position vector. So you can answer, okay, so what is the position vector? So in these columns, which is represents the position vector? Already it is given, just so it is So from this, this is the final homogeneous transformation matrix I got. So in this matrix, which column represents the position vector? Either it may be A, B, C I given. Okay, first column is A, second column is B, C is the fourth column. So which represents the position vector? Okay, so last column represents the position vector. So it is like some incomplete question again. So like D option is not there. Okay. So this last column represents the position vector. So I have written as X, Y position of the end effector. And okay. So I can write what is X here? L1 C1 plus L2 C12, L1 S1 plus L2 S12. Okay. So then here in algebraic analysis to arrive the closed form solutions. So I am going to squaring and adding these equations. So from these equations, I am by some operations by performing squaring or adding some operations, and we are going to find the joint variables. Joint variables theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. Okay. So first step. So I have done squaring and adding these two. I'll get this expression like okay. So in this case, from this expression, if you observe carefully, what is the unknown? Only C2. C2 is the unknown, so you can find out C2. So what is C2? C2 is cos theta 2. So if I written sin theta 2 is equal to plus or minus root of 1 minus cos square theta 2. So again we have two solutions. So like okay, so not a single solution. So you can use this formula which I defined in previous slide. Theta 2 equal to a tan 2 of s sin theta 2 comma cos theta 2. So you can use that method, arc tangent of you can find out two vector. So arc tangent of sin theta 2 and cos theta. So you will get this theta 2 value. So like so similarly to find theta 1. So how I can find out theta 1? So for finding theta 1, same equations you use it. Here you need to eliminate. So like I'm going to in this case I have I simplified squaring and adding. Okay. So similarly, if I get so these are the if I expand this term C12. So what is C12? C12 is nothing but C1 C2 minus S1 S2. So if I simplify this and I have written in terms of C1, okay, in terms of C1, okay, so that other terms I can consider like a K1 K2 some constant. So here this R is equal to okay. So by using the to perform change of variables, we are changing the and we are writing the constants like plus root of k1 square plus k2 square. Okay, so same arc tangent method if you use, you get the other angle. So theta 1, theta 2. So sum of all three angles, theta 1 plus theta 2, theta 3 as pi, you can also compute. So algebraic approach to solve the kinematic equations is like basically one of the manipulating the given equations into a form for which a solution is known. Okay, so like these are the procedure for finding these nonlinear equation by analytical method. So here I given a tan 2 s2 So here A tan 2 denotes a 4-quadrant version of arctan function. So like as I said in previous thing, so it defines like a four quadrants arctan function. It allows us to recover angles over the entire range like pi to minus pi. So like these are the conditions like if x equal to 0, y equal to 0, then the result is indefinite and x is greater than 0, y is 0, then a tan arctan is equal to 0. So these are the different conditions of x and y. You see theta 2 equal to a tan to s to c2. So for different cases, so like when x equal to 0, y equal to 0, this is the situation. Okay. So another procedure is like a geometric solution. Geometric solution, so it is like for a will draw like a plane geometry associated with three-link planar robot. Okay, so here from the geometry, so by using the cosine law, I can write this position as x square plus y square as L1 square plus L2 square. Okay, so next by simplifying that, I can get the theta 2 value. So so similarly, like which we have seen. Okay, so this is geometric approach is different from analytical approach. So another one is polynomial. So like reduction to algebraic solution by reduction to polynomial. So when you see the transcendental equations are difficult to solve as already mentioned. Okay. So like suppose if there is only one variable. So one variable means we can solve by using this. It is easy to solve by using uh, this polynomial. So suppose we have like cos theta. So like parameter. So theta is represented in terms of parameter. So like that parameter is u. Okay. So by changing the variable, so like a parameter, that one word. Okay, so this equation theta in terms of theta, if we have equation a cos theta, so we have a some equation like a cos theta plus b sin theta equal to c. That I am going to change it to some variable instead of theta. I am going to change it as a u variables. U or any variable. So that I am going to convert it as a polynomial equation. So then if you solve that polynomial equation, you'll get the theta value. So that is another method. So for one angle, it is easy. For number of angles, it is little bit difficult. So like then it will be complex. So here when like a plus c is 0, so a plus c is 0, what will happen? It is like a infinite. Correct. The argument of arc tangent becomes infinite and hence theta is 180 degree. Okay. So these are the things I covered. So what we have seen in geometric solution, what is the thing we are going to from the geometry we have so like some we applied cosine rule and we got x square plus y square as in terms of L1 square. So in the this case, okay, so for this triangle will exit when the distance to the goal point, that is the distance to the goal point must be less than or equal to sum of the link lengths. So when this triangle exists, so this distance like x square plus y square, so it should be less than the sum of the link lengths. So okay, so then only we have to we can verify the existence of solutions. So if suppose this condition is not satisfied when the goal point is out of reach of the manipulator, then assume that the solution exists and the equation is solved for the value of theta 2 when it is that is lies between 0 and minus 180 degrees. For only for these values there exist okay, there exist theta 2. So similar once after finding theta 2, so to find the theta 1, we can write like previously what we have seen, like arctan beta alpha. So you can write the expression for beta as a tan 2 of arctan of y comma x. Okay. So similarly, if you consider like a triangle, so then you can also write the expression for cos phi. Okay. So then you can express that theta is nothing but theta 1 is nothing but beta plus or minus psi. So for different positions, different solution, so you can take theta 1 as beta plus or minus psi. Okay, so another expression, theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3 is pi. Okay, so sum of the three joint angles, okay, must be the orientation of the last link. So then you can compute the theta 3. So this is the three methods you can use. Numerical method you can use, but it is time consuming. So this is the inverse kinematics about the inverse. So you can, I have explained simple three link planar mechanism. You can try same thing the 6-axis robot. 6-axis robot. We have first three angles you need to find: theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. So you can find by using this procedure. Okay. So first I have eliminated. So first I have written the equation in terms of theta 1, theta 2. Next step I have taken theta 1, theta 3. So like that you can do for 6-axis robot or n number of robots. N number of axes. So thank you for patience listening. So you have any doubts on this?
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Any questions from the participants? Okay. Okay, ma'am. I have a question. For this inverse kinematics, even for a 6 degree of freedom system, whether we have an algebraic solution or analytical solution?
Yes, sir. Yeah, there exists analytical solution, sir. So
Okay.
I have, by using the same arctan method, first we need to find out theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, and then other four we need to use like inverse. So I'll explain slightly about that, sir.
Ah,
1 minute. Share my screen and so are you able to see this textbook? So this is in inverse kinematics, like uh, six-axis manipulator. We have arrived this homogeneous transformation matrix. Okay, so this is like a multiplication of all the like transformation matrix with respect to six axis. Here in inverse, to arrive the algebraic solution, first we are going to uh, write the equations in terms of theta 1. So like suppose I want to find out theta 1. So in that case, I am going to write this term. So like initially it is
Madam,
T01. So that I am writing it
uh,
as inverse.
could you expand the PDF little bit? Because we couldn't
Yes.
see the text. Yeah.
So you can consider this as like a inverse. So like if I write this term on the left hand side, okay, so you will get this as the expression. So this expression you can compute, you can I can write it this expression as T16 T so it starts from transformation matrix 1 to 6. So now if I substitute this theta 1 T translation matrix with respect to first axis, so which we have seen like this this parameters I'll substitute and I'll find out transformation matrix, and then that transformation matrix into the total transformation matrix. Then here if I multiply and in this inverse kinematic problem, I know all these terms. Okay, so position of the end effector we know. So I need to find out theta 1, theta 1. So multiplying each side of transform equation by an inverse. Okay, so that same thing we have done, and it is used to separating the variables. So here I have multiplied this last two, and if I have written the expression, okay, last row of this entire equation. Okay, so here to solve this equation, okay, like sine theta, some like a sine theta plus b sin theta equal to d3. So to solve that, before that I am going to use some trigonometric substitution. Okay, so if I substitute instead of px as rho cos pi, rho sin pi, and this expression becomes like sine a minus b. A minus b equal to, this is the value. So like that, I can simplify for pi minus theta 1. It is a tan 2 of like a previous equation r33. So have you remembered, plus root of r11 square plus r33. So like that, I have simplified this expression, and you can derive the theta 1. So similarly, you can, so suppose if you want to find theta 2. So theta 2 means you can take t, uh, suppose here they have written for theta 2 and theta 3 in terms of theta 2 and theta 3. So you can find out, so like instead of that, you can use same procedure for all the angles. Okay, so here t theta 1, and again you can take t1 to theta to inverse. So inverse so you are going to take the matrix, you are going to find the matrix inverse, and then so instead of assuming px py as cos pi and sin pi, you can also use no, sorry, this is like okay, so we can get the values of theta 3, theta 3. So 1 minute. So here, so this is the inverse. So to find the theta 3, they have inverse of 3, 0. So similarly, you can take t 0 theta. Okay. So theta 2, theta 3. Okay. So here you can take the inverse of these values and you can derive the expressions. So you can solve
Okay,
these
ma'am.
differential equations and then you will get all these parameters theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, theta 5, theta 6.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any question from the participants? Okay, so Dr. Srinivasalu, he has asked, is it possible to get solution in MATLAB for analytical solutions even though the degree of freedom is more than 6?
Yes.
Yes, actually, I mean, it is possible and some of the codes are freely available. So here, I mean, this workshop is mainly about the theory and what is the background of that code. So, and once you get such a code, you will be able to understand that code. Okay, sir.
Yes.
So, any other questions? Okay.
So, sir, is this lecture will be recorded or?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's been recorded, and in the next session, I will let you all know how to access the recorded content.
Okay. So, is there any toolbox in MATLAB where we can do kinematic calculations? So, there is one tool. Sir,
Yeah, ma'am. Please go ahead.
so we have robotics tool in that you can perform this kinematic analysis like finding the joint.
Some graphical interface
Yes,
toolbox is
yes,
available actually.
yes, sir, in
Yes,
MATLAB.
it is available. Yeah, and that can be explored. Okay, any question? Last question because we have to come immediately for the next session. Okay, so if
Okay.
there are none, then
What is the
thank you, ma'am.
significance of A in
What is it?
equation 15?
No, it means arc tangent.
Arc tangent. Yes.
Yeah, so which means the inverse of the tangent. Okay. Okay, so
Thank you.
if there aren't any questions, then thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your time, and thank you all for
Thank
attending
you.
this lecture. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you
Yeah.
to all participants. Okay.
Okay. And we'll see in the next session. Thank you. Bye.